2 weeks after former Park Center student Anoka-Hennepin was shot to death, investigators say they've arrested 2 teenagers believed to be involved. As Delane Cleveland reports, police say the 17-year-olds killed the victim using so-called ghost guns purchased through the internet.
The gun violence has to stop.
Thursday afternoon at Brooklyn Park City Hall, police provided more details on the fatal shooting of 17-year-old Anoka-Hennepin. Investigators say Hennepin was in a vehicle with 3 friends on November 18th at the Regent Apartments.
We know that one of the passengers in the vehicle fired his gun outside from the vehicle, directing his rounds outside of the vehicle. That is the only rounds that we know were fired.
But police say nobody outside of the vehicle was hit.
We believe the intended target was outside the vehicle. Unintended targets were inside the vehicle.
Hennepin and another teen in the vehicle sustained gunshot wounds. After the shooting, the car fled the scene, stopped somewhere to hide the guns used in the incident, then got onto I-94 and called 911. The State Patrol responded and found the 2 victims inside the car. Both were taken to the hospital, which is where Hennepin died. On Wednesday, police arrested 2 17-year-olds who were in the vehicle for aiding and abetting murder.
We also executed a search warrant at their home and found evidence that they had obtained the guns used in this incident as ghost guns and had obtained them through the internet.
Brooklyn Park police say they've recovered 119 handguns in the city so far this year, 26 of which were ghost guns that are unregistered, untraceable, and assembled using spare parts purchased online.
We believe that they ordered parts from multiple different manufacturers online. They shipped all those parts to their home under an alias name, and once they arrived, they performed a simple milling process and created functional firearms.
Police think they have the shooter in custody, but they're still looking for one more occupant of the vehicle. In the meantime, Hennepin's mother made a plea for help.
All I'm asking is all the bystanders, community, whoever was there when this was happening, to come forward and help the police here to just find justice for my son.
In Brooklyn Park, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
Hospital nurses, including those at North Memorial Health Hospital in Robbinsdale, plan to strike unless a contract agreement can be reached by December 11th. Nurses voted Wednesday to authorize a strike. It would be their second strike in recent months, the last being a 3-day strike last September that involved 15,000 Minnesota nurses. The latest strike would start December 11th and last until December 31st at most hospitals. Hospitals would have to come up with replacement nurses. Hospital systems say patients may need to reschedule non-critical care procedures if an agreement cannot be reached. A contract impasse remains over staffing levels. The city of Golden Valley has released investigative reports by a third-party law firm on alleged misconduct by police. That includes alleged misconduct of one officer who was later terminated. A 48-page redacted report concluded 8 police officers made data practice violations that involved disseminating non-public information. One officer, identified as Kristen Heffling, was terminated by the city for her alleged role in data breaches. The report mentioned policy violations that included the release of court documents related to a candidate in the city's police chief search. The report also accuses Heffling of making racially biased and insensitive statements. The city posted the investigative reports on its website. In addition, the city will host listening and healing circles on Friday to address what was found in the report. Brooklyn Park's police chief was sworn in on Wednesday night, and he highlighted a growing problem he's seeing in the city involving the powerful opioid drug fentanyl.
Big spike, and I would say even in the last 3 weeks we've probably seen more fentanyl in the city of Brooklyn Park than we've historically seen ever. It is across the nation an absolute epidemic, and it's something that we'll be focused on from moving forward.
Chief Mark Bruley said a Brooklyn Park officer processing drug evidence that contained fentanyl had to be given the overdose antidote Narcan to counteract the effects of it contacting the officer's skin. The incident happened a few weeks ago. Overdose risk through skin exposure is considered extremely rare. However, it highlights the potency of the synthetic drug that is often manufactured and sold illegally. The comments on fentanyl came on a night Bruley took his ceremonial oath to be police chief. Bruley has been on the job as chief since August. In addition to Bruley getting sworn in, 3 other Brooklyn Park police officers were recognized for their promotions. The finalists have been selected for the Anoka-Hennepin superintendent job, and the current superintendent of the Osseo School District made the cut. Corey McIntyre has been superintendent of Osseo schools since 2019. Before that, he spent 3 years in the Anoka-Hennepin School District as an assistant superintendent and director of student support services. After the interviews, the preferred candidate is expected to be announced by next week. The other finalist is Dr. Jeffrey Riddlehoover, who is superintendent of the Sartell St. Stephen schools, and he also spent 9 years as an assistant principal at Wayzata High School. It is a holiday tradition that's finally back after the pandemic. Allianz employees formed a human chain all throughout their Golden Valley building to transfer food, toys, and clothing donations to charities like Second Harvest Heartland, Toys for Tots, Prism, and the Ark Minnesota. Employees have been bringing items in for the past month in their Spirit of Giving campaign.
One of the ways that we can really get employees excited is to get them physically together. We're all on this campus together, and so many years ago it started by just saying, hey, how can we celebrate all of this and make people part of this effort in a really physical way?
More than 250 employees took part in the event for the first time since 2019. They collected more than 30,000 pounds of food and more than 1,000 toys. Find more local news stories at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.